Just as far as Taysom, what you're seeing from him, what's been the biggest change in your mind over the last few weeks that have made him be so successful?
It's really just a entire offense. Just each guy kind of improving at their position and as a unit in our execution. Up front with protection, with the receivers, the backs, and it's just the chemistry, just getting on the same page, and the reps getting better each week that way.
So how do you take it now from where they're at, which is a lot of success over 2-3 quarters, and make it into 4 quarters of success?
That's the key, is just being able to stay at a constant level. It's easy to get caught up in momentum swings, or if a team adjusts, makes an adjustment with what they're doing scheme-wise, being able to adjust quickly and adapt to that, and then come right back out the next series and execute at a high level. So it's just a matter of being more consistent, and not getting caught up in the swings, emotionally, and then with changes.
Does it happen because you just had some leads, like getting Boise State, Georgia Tech ahead, where you come out where you're not doing, that's like not the full complete game, anything to do with it? Maybe you guys have a lead and kind of not cruising, but not.
It's kind of natural for players in general to lose their edge. When you have a lead or when you're playing well, you just assume you're going to come out the next time and keep it rolling, and so you have to stay at a high level of focus and execution. Because once that lets down, then it's you're going to perform poorly and miss assignments, and then all of a sudden your drives are stalling. So it's just a matter of keeping that that edge, that focus on execution and assignments.
Taysom seems to have the ideal mental makeup to be a quarterback, and to go through what he's gone through this season with the improvement in that. Would you agree? Is that what kind of has helped him do this?
Yeah, he's a very level-headed. He doesn't get caught up on nerves, or he's really started all the games. He comes out playing well, and a lot of times in the past you have to ease quarterbacks into it, so they calm down and but he's pretty level-headed, pretty focused, and with the positive or the negative, just kind of keeping that same mind frame, keep working hard, and focus on what you can control.
You mentioned cruising with the lead. How much can that be affected by play calling? When you go to a few more runs and maybe being a little bit more conservative to prevent turnovers or things like that, as opposed to going out and really being attacking with the pass game and things like that. How much does that affect that mentality?
Well, really you feel like whatever's called, you should be able to execute it and perform it at a high level, to stick with it. So I think it's really just more a matter of staying focused and keeping that edge and that execution. And if you do get a lead, you want to be able to run the ball. You want to be able to control some things that way. And so when put in that position, we need to still stay with the same focus, the same edge, and keep competing.
Has he been able to keep the team at the same tempo even when you've gotten ahead, and maybe even though the offense hasn't had the same success sometimes, but has the tempo been consistent throughout the games as far as you've seen?
Yeah, generally, unless we get in a situation where we do say, okay, let's huddle up and let's really take the clock all the way down, we've been pretty consistent with staying at a certain tempo. Some plays do have some checks or some things that are naturally just going to slow it down a second to make sure those are right. But yeah, generally we're able to stay at a good rhythm and push it pretty good.
Taysom seems to be getting a lot more comfortable in the pocket as a pocket passer against Boise State. Talk about the dynamics and the developments there.
Yeah, it's been something the last couple weeks that he's slowly been improving on, being able to move in the pocket and keep the eyes downfield and deliver the ball versus when you're really getting pressure and you just have to take off and get out of there. And so that's something that's really hard for anybody, and takes time. And he's made some good improvements in that the last couple of weeks, and hopefully that continues. That fine line of when to just move in the pocket, keep your feet set, eyes downfield, versus okay, I gotta get out of here and break contain and go make a play.
There's some instinctive nature to that, but there's also some developing from your end. What do you guys do as coaches to help develop knowing how to stay in the pocket, trust your linemen, know when to move out the pocket, get a feel for where things are going? What kind of conditions do you create to like that?
You set up drills to kind of mimic it and to represent those looks, to kind of work it and train that. But a lot of it just comes in the heat of the battle, when it is really happening. And it's tough for a quarterback because in practice, you're not live. And so there's always kind of that, instinct, I guess, that you're not going to get hit. And so it's never quite the same look until you get in the game and it's live bullets. So I think that's something, you work and you drill, but at the same time it just comes with those game reps of being through it and managing it and learning from, how you did and that look, and then, to adapt to it the next time.
They've got a very good defense and very good offense, likes to grind things out. How important is it to avoid 3 and outs and really, win that field position battle and give your defense and the offense the best chances when they're on the field? Yeah,
and for our offense to be most effective, we got to extend drives. We have to convert first downs, get the drive going. We feel like once we get the drive converting a couple of first downs, now that's when our tempo is going to wear teams out. But, everybody's going to be fresh on the first 3 plays. So it's a matter of getting into those 6 and 8 play drives where we feel like we can take an advantage with our tempo. So that's something that's key for us. And obviously for the defense, not just throwing them right back out there that way. So, that's something we, really focus on getting drives started. We call it starting fast, getting those drives started and getting going, and then conversely finishing them when we get down in the blue zone, which is something we've been trying to focus and improve on.
Is there a concept within the offensive philosophy where extending plays in the offense, creating more longer plays so that the go fast, go hard doesn't drop off in intensity, but yet you can extend that offense and have those longer plays? So that is there an element of philosophy in that?
Well, for any offense, it's hard to go 15 plays to execute and outperform a defense. So to get those big chunks is key for any offense, really, to be able to get points on the board.
How valuable is Cody Hoffman to the offense and to Taysom?
You just, when you have a one-on-one matchup, you feel like, hey, here's a guy that's going to win. When anytime you have the opportunity to get him the ball, you feel like he's going to make a play for you. So that is definitely kind of a security blanket for the quarterback to feel comfortable with. I think Skylar's really developed his way into that as being a very dependable guy. And Mitch is really, Mitch and Ross both the last few weeks have been doing the same. So it's good to see out of the receivers because the more those guys make plays, it's the more confidence you have and the more you feel like you can depend on them.